Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome. It is time for Naturally Inspired Radio. I just realized I don't have my light on behind me, but welcome anyway, because we are live. I'll turn it on during the break. Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio. So glad you're joining me today. It's Friday, and we're so excited that you've made it through another week and you've done so fantastic. Sticking to your goals, keeping your promises to yourself, working on your health. We love to hear about it. I love to hear about all your wins. So much weight loss, so much markers that are improving. Some people are even ditching medication, of course, with their doctor's help. But it's such an exciting time here at Naturally Inspired. So keep it up and encourage your friends to join us here in the community, because we're happy to have everybody. I've got a great show for you today. I was doing some thinking. I know it's a dangerous thing, but I was doing some thinking because I've been seeing, well, first of all, this whole week, I feel like it's been kind of a challenge this week. I mean, come on. It's a challenge every week, I guess, in this world and the state that we're in. But this week in particular, I felt like there was a lot of my brain is going like, now, why would that be? You know, how did we get here? How did this happen? And just seeking to try to understand, because I do think that I believe that the answer to the predicament that we're in is us, the human population, finding unity, finding some common ground that we can agree on to preserve freedom, to preserve self-respect for one another, and to come up with a foundation of I guess like a few foundational things, like critical criteria that will hold this society together. Like things like we're going to acknowledge people's gender for their biological gender. And if you want to identify outside of that, fine. But we also have to have, some foundation of stuff that we all agree on, kind of like the fact, like if we're all speaking different languages in one country, it's going to make it hard for us to communicate. It's the same concept. What I'm trying to explain here is the same concept. It's like we have to have a few foundational things that we can all agree upon so that society can function. Because we're getting like way off in the weeds in some of this stuff, right? We have, full adult men, putting on tutus or whatever, just like looking like men and everything and putting on tutus and then walking into bathrooms and scaring the hell out of little girls. That's not, we can't go on with that. That's craziness. So there's like some fundamentals that we just all kind of have to acknowledge and respect in order for society to function properly. And every country's free to have their set of foundational criteria that holds them together as a country, right? That's, you speak this language in this country, you kind of act this way. That's culture. And this week, I've been just, why? I find myself asking, like, why is there so much effort to skew culture in America to create chaos? And more importantly, why are people falling for it? Because that's really the key. If we can figure out why people adapt to every kind of control that gets thrown out there, responding to, now we're going to the No Kings March. Now we're doing this, now we're doing that. And it's just creating chaos and division. And so I started thinking about like, why, how do we fix this truly? How do we fix this? Well, it's not going to be voting in somebody, that's not going to fix it. There's nobody coming to save us. I think the true answer to fixing this is true personal responsibility on an individual level. Taking personal responsibility for the actions that we put out and shaping our own culture. That's how I think this gets fixed. Now, we have this major problem, though. We talked about this week the moral and social decline in the fall of Rome. And there were some key parallels that I just kind of can't stop thinking about. Overindulgence, loss of civic virtue, loss of purpose and spiritual decay, bread and circuses. These are all things that are parallels to what we see going on here. But there's one thing too that I think this week was really prevalent. And that was, of course, all the EBT stuff. The expression of, well, I'm owed this. You're going to pay this. I want this. You're going to give this to me, right? It was a sign of overindulgence for sure. It was a sign of loss of civic virtue. And I just started thinking, like, why are people like this? The circumstances we're living in are creating this type of behavior. So why? Like, what are the circumstances that are creating it? And I kind of came back to the fact that I've noticed over, the last 10, 15 years that people are really weary of taking risk, I guess. They're really, I guess not weary, but what's the word I'm looking for? I guess they're just plain fearful of taking risk. And they're much more willing to do things that they don't really like, but it'll be okay. It'll fill the gap. It'll be all right. And the expectation is, well, you kind of have to, you get that wherever you go. And so I was feeling like, wow, this is kind of crazy. So I returned to some of my greatest teachers that I've listened to and read their books and studied over the years. And one of the videos that popped up right away was one of my favorites from Jim Rohn. So I wanted to start the show off today sharing this with you. Here it is.
Then I'll tell you what changed my whole life when I finally discovered it's all risky. The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying. If you think investing is risky, wait till you get the tab for not investing. See, it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky. I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to get out alive. That's risky. Somebody says, yeah, but I'm looking for safety and security. Fine, then huddle in a corner. We'll cover you with a sheet, bring you 3 meals a day. And we'll protect you, feed you, look after you, care for you. We won't let anything happen to you. And you'll probably live to be 100. The guy said, well, yeah, I'd live to be 100. But what a way to live. Right. What a way to live, safe and secure. Don't ask for security. Ask for advice.
I think the bill of goods people have been sold is that there is some form of security. And there isn't. If you get a job today and you dedicate 30 years of your life to a company with the expectation that you're going to get a pension and you're going to have security and safety, you're going to be disappointed because it doesn't really exist. And it never really did. There is the perception of security, and there is the perception of safety. And that is what our society has become really good at, because we have mega corporations and we have a whole society that's based off of consumerism, right? Buy more stuff, just keep buying. Scare, I mean, the thing, forgive me if you're in insurance, but I hate insurance. And I think the reason why I hate insurance so much is because the whole thing is set up for what if and fear. The fear what if something terrible happens. That's the whole premise behind insurance, right? What if? Pay us and we'll give you safety and security. And guess what? Most of the time it doesn't pan out. Oh, there's a little loophole here. I mean, it's happened in my life. I remember several times when I've had to call on insurance. And guess what? Oh, loophole. We only covered this much of that. It's never what you're buying. You think you're buying safety and security, but you're not, because it doesn't exist. It's only the idea that they're selling you. And safety and security doesn't equal a life well lived. It's kind of like being a free lion in the jungle versus being a lion in a zoo. When you take no risk, you get fed every day in the zoo, but there's also no adventure. And it's such a strange time to be alive because social media would project adventure, but yet everyone's afraid to take risk. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Did you know Naturally Inspired Radio is now streaming on 100 plus video, podcast, and social media platforms? Just search your favorite platform for Tammy Cuthbert Garcia or Naturally Inspired Radio. We're everywhere you listen, watch, and connect. Help us grow our Odyssey channel today. You can go to Odyssey and search for Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. Like the posts there, follow our channel, leave a comment, or even join the chat. And don't forget, you can always visit naturalinspiredradio.com anytime for the full list of where we're featured online and on radio. As we're at break, I was thinking about it, and I remember when both of our kids graduated high school, they were in a homeschool program, and so the ceremony that we put on was, it was really cool, actually, because it was a small group of kids, and so they did a really good job of doing these kind of personalized ceremonies for graduation where parents got to award their children their homeschool diploma and graduation from high school. And so, we were able to give a little speech and whatnot. And I think about that speech that I gave both of my kids, because my dream for them is that they were never trapped as they became adults, to really help them, support them in making decisions outside of the mainstream, right? When a lot of your friends are choosing to go to college, but the truth, right? So, we told our kids, don't go to college unless you want to be a lawyer, unless you want to be a doctor, unless you want to be something that requires that certification, that thing for you to hang a shingle on the door and be in practice for yourself. Don't go to college for that. And of course, both had interests in, my son's interested in music and other things, and my daughter's obviously interested in dance and stuff. So, we let those interests grow, and it's tempting though. Right? When everybody else is going one direction, like all your friends are going to college, all your friends are doing the next step in life, you really have to support your kids if you want them to make different decisions that are right for them. I'm not saying, college isn't right. For some people it is. But for some people, for a lot of people, let me correct myself. I would say for the majority of people, it's not right. and kids are going to college and they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars there. They're getting out no better ahead than they were when they went in. In fact, I would say they're a little behind because now they have very little to no employment history. They haven't learned how to deal with people on common ground out in the workforce. And these are things you just have to kind of get out there and do, you know? But it's tempting. It's tempting to go with the flow because that's the safe route. I guess that's the perception of the safe route, because guess what we know? We actually know that a college degree is almost worthless nowadays in the job market. It's worthless. You know what employers are looking for? They are looking for dependable people. They are looking for people who are motivated, and are actually eager to learn something. They are looking for people with a good attitude. They're looking for people with no baggage, man, that, aren't going to bring a bunch of baggage into the workplace. That's what employers are looking for. They aren't looking for college degrees and feeling entitled people because they have a college degree that they should start out at the top of the pay scale. Again, it's a perception thing. And it's interesting because if you look at social media, this is like the weird, and hopefully you don't mind me just like kind of working this out as I'm thinking about it. Because I was thinking about it last night. It's like, it's so bizarre. Like, we truly are living in this strange simulation of a world where, there's what goes on social media and the virtual, and then there's what goes on in reality. But it's almost like the virtual world is swallowing up reality, and it's the only thing that matters. And I've faced this dilemma in real life now many, many times. Like, what's going on in reality right in front of your face doesn't matter, because in the virtual world, this is what's being perceived. And so social media, on social media, it's like everybody's rich, man. Everybody's got a perfect kitchen. Everybody's, balling and doing so well. But yet we know that, Gen Z, most of them are still living at home. They can't afford to move out, right? Like, this is the reality. They have college degrees. They can't use them. They're still working, entry-level positions that they were holding part-time when they were in college after graduation. And the reality is that many Americans have 2 or 3 jobs just to hold it together. So you go on social media, though, and the people with the most, influence, it looks like everything's just perfect there. I mean, gosh, I don't know about your feed, but on my feed on Instagram is people making $728,000 a month. It's like, wow, like, and just one after the other. But it's the strangest thing, because in reality, when you have conversations with people and stuff, you sense hesitation for risk. You sense hesitation to come out of the medical model, even because, that's the medical model. Like, I got to go see the doctor. I got to go do this. Like, but listen, are you getting the results that you want? Going with it's crazy, because we have this pull to go with the flow and do all the things that everybody else is doing, even though we see that the results are not there. To get different results, you got to do different things. This is one of my favorites. Again, another one. I think this is actually, I'll preface this. I'm pretty sure this was AI generated, but I know that these are the philosophies of Jim Rohn. So I decided to share it anyway. This is a good one. Take a listen.
The greatest threat to your potential isn't out there in the world. It isn't competition or bad luck or lack of opportunity. It's right here, in this room, wrapped around you like a warm blanket, slowly suffocating the greatness within you. It's comfort. It's convenience. It's the path of least resistance that modern life has paved for you, brick by brick, until you've forgotten what it means to struggle, to strive, to overcome. I stand before you not to soothe your ego or validate your excuses, but to awaken something primal that has been lulled to sleep by the siren song of modern convenience. That fire within you, the one that once burned with ambition and possibility. It's still there, but it's dying. Starved of the oxygen that only challenge and discomfort can provide. Let me hold up a mirror to your daily existence. See yourself as you truly are, not as you imagine yourself to be. You wake to the sound of an alarm and immediately reach for your phone, not to create, but to consume. You scroll through the highlights of other people's lives while still lying in bed, your own potential seeping away with each flick of your thumb. You eat not what nourishes your body, but what satisfies immediate cravings. You choose entertainment over education, distraction over direction, comfort over growth. You sit in climate-controlled rooms, moving as little as possible. Your body, that magnificent machine designed for action, slowly atrophying from disuse. When faced with resistance, you retreat. When confronted with challenge, you seek escape.
You will never change anything without taking risk. You will never grow without being uncomfortable. And I think this is a real problem in our society right now. I saw a video last night of a woman who was describing her coming to be, what they call red-pilled, right? It's like she was saying, everything is fake. Everything is fake. Like, this is fake, that is fake. And what if this whole thing is already like a construct and we don't have the tools within the construct to be able to prove that it's a construct, right? We don't have the tools to actually like peek outside of it and see it for what it is. And she kind of went on this whole kind of philosophical rant about it. But she's absolutely right. Like a simulation, I think when someone says the word simulation, you're thinking like you see ones and zeros and it's all like, like the Matrix. But I want to put it into reality, like into context in reality. Like saying something doesn't make it so. Saying it on repetition doesn't mean that it's right, doesn't mean that it's the only thing available, doesn't make it fact. And we're operating on so much of this. Like the medical system, the coding of medical system, medical insurance. What if we just were able to see it for really what it is? I'll explain. Stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired Radio, and I'm so glad you're here. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
I hate to get too philosophical for you on a Friday, but this is the stuff I'm thinking about. And if I got to think about it, I'm going to share it with you. I'll tell you, this thing, this whatever they call it, this matrix, it only holds together as long as we are holding it together, as long as we are buying into it. And like anymore, like everything seems to be a fraud. You know, you think, look at what's going on in the NBA. You think, oh, these guys are heroes. We have so much admiration for them. They work so hard. They make their dreams come true. And, you know, but it's not enough, is it? It's not enough because they're tempted. And they're tempted to make just a little bit more money doing something a little bit shady, right? And you start to really like analyze things. Where isn't this going on? Where isn't this going on? And then you have these people. I just saw, like on Twitter when I was on there earlier today, somebody said, about Mark Carney, because we got ourselves a little disaster going on there in Canada again with Ford putting forth this commercial that pissed Trump off, right? And so I saw somebody put it out that, Carney is just so well poised. He's so well poised and eloquent in the way he speaks. He's such a statesman. We've heard that before, haven't we? He's such a statesman. And then somebody said in the comments, like, what are you talking about? Like, this guy's a joker, a clown. And then the response was, oh, what are you talking about? His Brookfield conspiracy theories? Like, it's almost like, how can you be so stupid to think that human beings won't manipulate, lie, and, cheat for profit and power? So we've got these heroes in the NBA, supposedly. Some people look at it that way. We hold up on a pedestal because they're heroes. They're manipulating, they're cheating, and they're lying. So do you think your politicians are so different? I can't understand how people don't see what is going on here, especially with the whole climate scam. I mean, it's just laughable at this point. It's laughable that we have these gangster businessmen running countries for the benefit of their own corporations. And people are like, oh, no. He just stepped into the position of PM because he's a humanitarian. I can tell you this, Trump didn't step into the position of president because he's a humanitarian. He didn't. He's not even wired that way. And it's pretty obvious. He's a businessman. And the Trump organization, I think it's safe to say that they're worth more now with him being president in 2 terms than they were before. Nancy Pelosi, she's definitely worth more now than she was before she stepped into her humanitarian position, right? Serving her civic duty, please. We're in totally, people are in this mind frame that, it's about morals and virtue and teamwork and the success of us as a team. We're not in that space anymore. This is corporatized America. Okay? And every decision is being negotiated. It's being, there are deals being made every which way. We're not even on the board playing the game. They're playing in their own game of Monopoly here, right? The big players. And we're not even at the table. And the weird thing about it is like we can see like a group of people playing this Monopoly game, right? So there's a few people playing the Monopoly game, and then we have hundreds of millions of people just standing around watching it, letting them. And going, oh, I better go over here. Oh, I better go over there because they just bought that. They just bought this. Oh, they said this is the best recommendation. I'm going to go do that now. It's all perception. It's all perception. Like the best example of this, I guess, I can provide you is the whole health insurance thing. Let me show you this. Let's go to clip 1 of the health insurance stuff. These are your prices, I believe, for health insurance, or actually, is it the man with the health insurance? Either one. Hit the next clip, and we'll unpack it after it plays.
Perspective versus perception. Mm-hmm. And we may have mentioned this actually in our previous conversation, Stephen. Perception is what you believe to be true about the world around you. Perspective is what other people believe to be true about the world around them. So as I sit here looking at you, this is my perception. My perception is that I'm sitting in the center seat and you're sitting outside of me and everything else is built around me at the center. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what your perception is? The same thing. I am across the table from you, you're at the center, and everything in this room is built around you. Mm-hmm. So our perceptions are never going to be the same. So the only way that I can find common ground with you is to stop thinking about what's happening around me from my perception and start thinking from your perspective. Because then I get my perception plus your perception combined. I get twice as much information to think through this specific situation.
Can you train that? Can you train
Absolutely.
someone to have both points of view?
Absolutely. So here's how.
This is so valuable, this perception, right? My perception versus your perspective. So this is why we look at each other and we think, how could you possibly not see what's going on, right? Because from my perception, this whole thing's a racket. So just take health insurance, or the medical system. From my perspective, from my perception, this whole thing's a racket. Why? Because I've experienced it. I've experienced it. I have paid out thousands of dollars for something that never helped me, not once, because my deductible was over $10,000 and I never spent that. So I not only paid out of pocket for any kind of medical help that I needed, which wasn't much, but then I paid these premiums of thousands of dollars a month on top of it. All because there's a perception created that you have to have this. That you have to, right? This is what holds this whole thing together, is everyone's perception of the medical model and the assumed knowledge that doesn't actually come from anywhere, that is made up by companies, made up by corporations, and perpetuated by the people who work in it and benefit from it. Let's take a look at our next video here.
All right, the health insurance industry is an absolute sham. I don't know how I'm paying $1,500 a month for health insurance, but every single person in my policy has a $6,000 copay, which means I've been going to the doctor all year. I thought my copays went towards our premiums and the amount that we had to pay to get coverage. However, it doesn't. My wife just had a serious event. She had to go to the hospital. She had to have life-saving surgery. And we got a bill in the mail from the hospital for over $3,000 for this procedure. And I'm thinking back, like, I'm paying $1,500 a month for this health insurance. I've personally paid thousands of dollars over the course of this year in copays for myself and stuff that I had to go to the doctors for. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, I'm going to spend $1,500 a month for the next 12 months. What is that? Like 18 grand. And then I have to spend $6,000 a person just to get them to cover things. So you're looking at, we have 5 people in our family. If all of us have to go to the hospital, that's $30,000 in copays that we have to pay on top of the $18,000 in monthly charges to actually get coverage. As a father of 3, I'm strongly considering canceling our health insurance policy, which feels very irresponsible and wrong, but I can't remember the last time I spent over $48,000 in a year in health costs between copays and health insurance and all of this stuff. If I just pay cash, I'm never going to pay anywhere near that amount. For instance, the surgery my wife just had, if we paid cash on that surgery and we didn't have insurance, it would have ran us about $1,200. But because we had insurance and the insurance wasn't going to cover it, we have to pay what the insurance was going to pay, which is over $3,000. Are other families seeing the same thing? Maybe I'm just being unreasonable and crashing out here, but it just...
That's a no-brainer, right? I mean, he's thinking about canceling the health insurance. Do you see the grip they have on you? Do you see the grip? That feels really irresponsible. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I spent $48,000. A young, healthy family, right? But you got to have health insurance. What is this rooted in? What is this rooted in? This is rooted in the fact that, oh my gosh, I may get a disease. And when I get that disease, it's going to bankrupt me. That's the big fear? You got to ask yourself this. If you get a disease, are you going to want their care? Because let me tell you, their chronic disease care is horrific. It doesn't work. It often leads to bigger problems. And it's highly inflated. Like we played on the show, I think it was yesterday, when I shared that video for you with the pharmacist, right? A $7 cancer medication that he tacks on $10 for. So it comes to $17. If you continue in this insurance racket, $2,400 for that same medication. $2,400 for a $17 medication. But we are locked into this perception thing. Gotta have it. Somebody, wake up. Like, this is the Matrix right here. It's all fake, you guys. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Guys, it's crazy, right? And I admire this guy, this dad, right? He's like thinking this through critically, like, what am I doing here? I'm paying $48,000. It would cost me $30,000 in deductibles. Like, this doesn't make sense. But yet there's that pull, right? Oh, I'm being irresponsible. Are you though? Are you? I remember the first time, like, I heard Rush Limbaugh say, I don't have health insurance. If something goes wrong with my health, I'm paying out of pocket. Because, he was Rush Limbaugh. But that resonated with me. It's like, why would I not have an asset or, be preparing for that? Why am I paying an insurance company for what if? And then on top of that, I'm still paying out of pocket every time I go. Like, I don't know about you, about $48,000 a year, you could be investing that and into a home, maybe another property, a rental property. I mean, an investment account of some sort where you could be building that nest egg in case you ever needed it. The truth of the matter is the cost of care is so inflated. It would never cause you bankruptcy in any other country. But it does here. And that's because your fat cats, your globalists, your corporate gangsters, they have inflated the price and rigged the system so that, and they just keep sucking from us. They just keep sucking it from us. The new prices for healthcare in Atlanta just came out recently. And I believe this is an insurance agent of some sort. I'm not sure. But she shared her screen on pricing. Let's take a look at that.
Looking at plans for 2025, I have set this is like an Atlanta zip code, 40-year-old male, making $63,000 a year. They still get a slight discount, okay? Let me see here. Prices, they were $425 a month. They got discount. Like the lowest Oscar Bronze plan HMO is $343 a month. Now watch what happens when I switch it to 2026. Okay, same 40-year-old zip code, 63,000. Now, that's the cutoff for discounts for a single income household. So there's no more savings, and the prices are now lowest. So it looks like Oscar's not available in the state anymore. You can get an Anthem plan starting at $508 a month, which is exorbitant. Look at that deductible.
$500 a month and $10,000 deductible. Everybody, check your perception. Check your perception. Anyway, I'm getting lost in the weeds here. Let's get to the naturally inspired moment because I don't want to miss it today. That's for sure. We need it. We need it going into our weekend. So today's naturally inspired moment is about how to change the way we look at things. One of my favorites, again, I told you I was visiting all these previous teachers of mine and all these previous different conferences I have attended, and just looking for ways to inspire myself through what we're going through right now, when it feels like kind of everything's fallen apart in the world, And I came across this one from Dr. Wayne Dyer. He had a famous saying where he said, "When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change." And that sounds simple and probably poetic, but it's one of the most powerful mindset shifts you can ever make. We spend so much of our lives reacting to what's in front of us, our health struggles, our financial worries, broken relationships, the weight we want to lose, the goals that seem way too far away. But what if the real change doesn't start with the thing itself, that it starts with how we see it? So when we change our perception, you don't just change your mind, you change your energy, your choices, your frequency. And ultimately, that's what changes your outcomes. So today I want to talk about 5 strategies to change the way you look at things. Number 1, step back from the situation. That's what I've been doing this week. Stepping back. Remember I said earlier this week, it's almost like you got to compartmentalize it and be an observer. And when emotions run high, you can't see clearly. So we have to step back and breathe before responding. We have to create space between the events that we're witnessing, or the circumstances that we're living through, and then create a response. Because that pause alone is the beginning of our wisdom. Number 2, ask better questions. So instead of asking, why is this happening? What is this trying to teach me? Is a better question. This turns pain into purpose. And you instantly move from victim to student. So when you watch some of these things, you think, man, why are people acting this way? We have to look for that bridge, right? If we have our perception, if we can figure out their perspective, then we can build a bridge. Because ultimately, the people all around the monopoly board, the hundreds of thousands of people I was just talking about, imagine if we all started working together. That's when real change starts to happen, right? When somebody pokes his head up, like this guy making this video, pokes their head up and goes, hey, this insurance thing's a ripoff. Like, yeah, it sure is. Then other people poke up and they go, oh, well, he's going to do it. I think I'm bailing on it. I'm going to come up with a better solution for my medical needs. That's when change happens, right? But we have to find that common bridge to start having those conversations. Because I'm pretty certain there isn't anybody that likes being ripped off. Oh, I love paying my health insurance when then they charge me for every little thing and my deductible's $10,000. I love it. What? Nobody's like that. But we're just having difficulty having these conversations. We're lacking organization and we're lacking the understanding of other people's perspective. When we don't understand other people's perspective, we can't relate. We can't build that bridge. Look for evidence of good. Your brain finds what it looks for, so train it to seek the blessing even in the mess. Gratitude changes your biology. It lowers your stress hormones and increases dopamine. And this is the motivation molecule. Number 4, reframe challenge as refinement. Pressure doesn't destroy you, it shapes you. Just like your muscles grow through resistance, your spirit grows through struggle. Every challenge is preparing you for what is next. Number 5, choose faith over fear. You can't hold both at the same time. Faith opens your vision, fear narrows it. And remember that perspective isn't about ignoring what's wrong. It's about seeing it through the lens of possibility. So when you learn to look at things differently with curiosity instead of judgment, hope instead of dread, your entire world rearranges itself around that new vibration. So the moment you change the way you see something, you've begun to change it. And I'm going to start trying to apply that more every day. Instead of, staying in my perception, I'm going to try to understand other people's perspective and build a bridge. Because asking questions is probably the best thing you can do to understand somebody else's perspective. My perception is because of my experiences, and so is theirs. So my experience in the medical model led me to where I am today. I had different events that happened that just completely eroded the trust in the system. Some pretty blatant things. Also, the results weren't the ones I wanted. I just simply was not getting the results out of that model. And so that caused me to make different decisions, get different results, and now that's my perception of that model. But I have to understand that other people have not had those experiences yet. Or if they have had those experiences, they haven't interpreted them the same way that I have. That's, more likely. Because the system itself tends to defend itself, right? So if something terrible happens to us in the medical model, the system defends itself with things like, oh, that's idiopathic. We don't know why that happens. Fear, right? This model that we are living in when it comes to medicine right now, it needs fear to continue operating in the manner that it is. There has to be urgency, and people are driven to urgency with fear. And I'm talking about, chronic disease model here. I'm not talking about emergency medicine, but I'm talking about chronic disease here. It has to have an element of fear to it for it to operate like this. It has to maintain the idiopathic narrative in order for people to continue to think, oh, I'm just a victim of this, because we don't know why it happens. The truth is there is cause. There is cause. And maybe people don't like the cause, right? When you hear things like, it's your lifestyle, it's the food you're eating, it's the sedentary lifestyle, it's the stress, it's the trauma. When people hear that, perhaps they interpret that as, oh gosh, I'm going to have to go through work. I'm going to be inconvenienced. The brain says, I don't know what to expect with this. This is the unknown. This means risk. I don't like risk. I like comfort. I like convenience. I'd much rather just be lied to and told I can take this pill and fix myself. The problem with that is that it doesn't fix you, obviously. It's only a Band-Aid. And the only way to true healing is by facing up to the truth. We seem to be having a really big problem with that in our culture. We've been marketed to, we've been lied to. Nobody wants to tell us the truth. They'll tell you it's because they're sparing your feelings, or it's mean to tell you the truth, right? It's mean. That's so mean. It's mean to not tell the truth, because all lies end in catastrophe. They always end badly, right? It always ends up in pain and suffering when things could have been prevented if we had just faced the truth in the beginning. And the truth is, right now, we need to take personal responsibility for shaping culture in our own country. And that means growth. It means a little pain and discomfort, but it will be so worth it. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of Naturally Inspired Radio. I am so grateful for all of our new customers. I want to say a special shout out to Karen and Sherry and Sharon, our new customers. So thank you so much for joining the Naturally Inspired community. We're so glad that you're here. And it's Friday, so we do announce today's weekly winner. And today's weekly winner is Kevin. Kevin Tabor is our winner for our weekly prize. And I have to say that Kevin has been visualizing this win. And so he has made it, he's manifested. I hate that word, but I don't know what else. He made it happen, man. He visualized it and he made it happen. So Kevin, congratulations. You'll be getting a nice little gift package from us here at Naturally Inspired. We're so grateful to you, Kevin. Kevin's been with us for a while now and he supports Naturally Inspired and enjoys all the products. And so I'm glad that he won. It's awesome. We're so happy to be able to give back to our community. It is a true community here at Naturally Inspired. You know, we actually talk to each other. we show up for each other. We talk to each other. It's not just like, buy this product. Hey, see you later. Bye, whatever. No, this is a community. We meet every Tuesday night. We talk on the health text line. We discuss things. We support one another. And I believe that's the new model of healthcare that we really need. I know we need emergency medicine, and I'm grateful for it. And I love that we have it. But we also need prevention medicine, where people understand that their lifestyle equals their health, And so communities like this, I think we're ahead of the curve. Always at least a couple of years ahead of the curve. That's just the way we function around here at the Garcia household. And it makes it tough. It makes it tough because not everybody understands, what you're trying to do. They haven't seen it before. They don't really understand it. It's like, what's that? I don't get it. What do you mean? And so it takes time for people to understand it. But it aligns with our mission, what we're doing here, because we know that the bigger this community, the more people connect to real solutions for health. They're not going back to that broken model, right? They're seeking prevention first and pharma absolute last, right? That's a last resort. Not saying never, it has its place, but it is a last resort. And what we're seeing today is predatory. It's predatory. The medical model today is predatory. They're preying upon poor people. They're getting these people into free clinics and whatnot, and they're pumping them full of pharmaceuticals. And they're not telling them that there are lifestyle changes that they need to make in order to heal, that pharmaceuticals are not healing. They are a Band-Aid. They are a temporary thing. They should be a temporary thing, but they turn into decades long. And then that turns into side effects. And then side effects turn into more pharmaceuticals. You guys, I see it every day. I see it every day. It doesn't have to be this way. But you got to tap into that perception that's being created for everybody to buy into. I wish we didn't have half the diagnoses that we have. We have this massive, it just keeps growing, more and more and more diagnoses. And all that means is more and more medicine, right? More and more pharmaceuticals to be able to medicate these diagnoses. And that's how it's working. So, more people popping their heads up saying, hey, wait a minute. This seems a little off here, and that's what we need. And that's what happens when we grow a community like Naturally Inspired, because somebody will say, hey, I know this lady, she does these free assessments. You should talk to her, and then we talk, and then people often, more like 99% of the time, they have a moment when they're talking to me where they're like, oh my gosh, I can do something different. I don't have to be locked into this. And that's the real change that we're creating over here at Naturally Inspired. So I hope you join us. All you got to do is become a customer. You get all the benefits of the Naturally Inspired community. One of what I call my hero products, I guess, is called the Cellular Reset. I absolutely love the Cellular Reset. It helps neutralize over 1 trillion free radicals every day, protecting your cells from oxidative stress that accelerate aging. Karen from Montana shared this with us. I used to feel drained all the time. Now I have energy through the evening. My mood is better. My skin has a healthy glow again, and I never want to go without it. That's how I feel, Karen. I never want to go without my Cellular Reset either. It gives me way more recovery benefits from exercise, and I just feel more energy as well with it. So you can too. Try it today. Get a free membership, 15% discount off all of our retail products, and a money-back guarantee. So if you try it, you don't like it for some weird reason, send it back. So there's no risk. And I know how people like no risk. NaturallyInspiredStore.com/reset is where you go to get it. If you have questions about it, just text me 720-303-8868. Oh, I've been hooked on this whole like fall of Rome thing, right? So, talking about loss of civic virtue, talking about overindulgence, hedonism, dependence on welfare and bread and circuses, the decline of military strength, corruption and greed, loss of purpose and spiritual decay, modern conveniences that are replacing, the will to, chase purpose. These are all the things that contributed to the fall of Rome. And man, I think you'd be lying to yourself if you said that we aren't aligning with a lot of this today. I think so. It's just a crazy time to be alive. But I think the answer is, again, personal responsibility. I keep hammering that home because I think it really is the way. We've tried voting people in, we've tried arguing online. We got censored, Elections may or may not be, I'm not going to say it because I don't need another reason to get censored. But there's definitely some issues going on, A lot of that's out of our control. But what is in our control is the way we respond in the world, the way we act in the world, the action we take. And fortunately, I think that's the most powerful thing that we can do because we have all these numbers on our side. And that's the thing about the globalists and the people who are the corporate gangsters. They're a fairly small set of group compared to the general population. And so it's just a matter of recognizing our strength and committing to doing the work. That's really what's important, right? Is committing to do the work. And it's just amazing because once you start kind of expressing that you're going to do things differently, you want to change things, it's contagious. It's contagious, and other people are inspired by it. So if you're thinking about things and you're thinking, I really need to do something different, I don't want to put up with this anymore, take the plunge. Take the plunge, because what will happen is you'll become an inspiration to others and you'll end up forming a community, that supports one another. And then you get on over here to a place like Naturally Inspired and join this community. And the ripples go on and on and on. Anyway, I've got a clip that's probably really going to amp up your stress again. So we had some feel good moments there at the beginning. And now I'm going to amp up your stress again because this little weasel, I mean, sometimes I watch this stuff and I'm like, are you kidding me? You've got to be kidding me. But they're not. They're not. There's no shame here. There's no shame. Watch this. This is Dr. Paul Offit. Remember him? The vaccine salesman? Listen to this.
I think we should have explained ourselves better. And in some ways, regarding the vaccine, we oversold that vaccine. I mean, when I was on the FDA's Vaccine Advisory Committee in December 2020 when we considered Pfizer and Moderna's vaccine. And if you looked at those data, both Pfizer and Moderna had 95% efficacy against all manner of symptomatic illness, mild, moderate, severe. There's no way that was going to last for mild or moderate illness. I mean, SARS-CoV-2, like flu, like respiratory syncytial virus, like rotavirus, are short incubation period mucosal infections. The goal of those vaccines is to keep you out of the hospital, keep you out of the intensive care unit, and keep you from dying. You're not going to protect against mild to moderate disease 6 months after you've been naturally infected or vaccinated. And so the reason that those data were so amazing was that those were 3-month studies. I mean, those subjects had just gotten their second dose. That's why they still were all well protected against mild to moderate disease. And I think we failed to say right at the beginning, here's the goal of this vaccine. Because what ended up happening is people were saying we're compelled to get a vaccine, mandated to get a vaccine, and then they got a moderate illness, which is not trivial. You could still be home for a couple of days, chills, fever, and people are saying, they made me get this vaccine and I'm still sick.
You guys, I'm so confused. I am so confused, because did you ever during COVID and when they were rolling these suckers out. Did you ever hear that these were only 3-month trials? Did Paul ever tell us that before? I don't recall he ever told us that they were only 3-month studies. And then I'm also a little bit concerned about the fact that this guy told us as well that, you know, if you had been vaccinated, you weren't considered vaccinated until 2 weeks after your last shot, your second shot, right? So then, okay, so you're not protected for the first 2 weeks. You're considered unvaccinated for the first 2 weeks. I think you had to wait 2 weeks from the first vax to the second vax, or was it longer now? What a sham. You know? What a sham this was. And now he's walking it back. I'll tell you why I think he's walking it back when we come back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. See you in a minute.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
You have low energy and brain fog. These are signs of cellular stress. It's not just age. It's not just fatigue from getting older. With the right nutrients and a proper lifestyle plan, your cells can reset fast. Derek from Idaho said, I used to hit a wall every day at 2 p.m., and Tammy's plan helped me rebuild my energy from the inside out. I feel sharper, calmer, and more productive than I have in years. She's truly passionate about helping people feel alive again. Yes, indeed, I am. I hate to see people suffering unnecessarily. It drives me insane, you guys. There is a way. There is a path back to health. You can try it today. Get yourself on a 90-day plan with me. You get priority access to my text line. You get VIP access to my weekly wellness workshops. Schedule your free health and lifestyle assessment at naturallyinspiredstore.com/assessment. If you have questions about all of this, you know, like I said, this is kind of a new model, a new way to do health for yourself. If you have questions about it, text me, 720-303-8868. It's truly me. I answer everything, and you can reach me pretty much 24/7. I mean, I do sleep, but it's rare these days, you know, that I'm unreachable. So 720-303-8868. Yeah, so Paul Offit here. We oversold that vax. Like, There really isn't words for this, you know. There was no choice, you know. They didn't want there to be choice, I should say. They didn't want there to be choice. There was choice. 30% of us resisted, but it wasn't without consequence. Many of us lost our businesses, lost our jobs, couldn't send our kids to certain schools, couldn't go into restaurants, couldn't go into a store without being accosted. It was a rough time, and there was no wavering on the efficacy or the safety of this injection ever from Paul Offit or from Fauci or from any of the other COVID vaccine zealots, evangelists. It wasn't, well, we only did this for 3 months. So, this might, it looks good, but we only did this for 3 months. No, there was none of that. There was none of that. They were so incessant about it that they actually, people who had allergies, people who had allergies to the lipid nanoparticle, they were directed to go to an allergist so that they could be poisoned slowly in front of an allergy doctor in case they went into anaphylaxis. That's how important it was that they got this. There was no, we may have oversold that vax. We may have oversold that. I mean, the vitriol of these people, anti-vaxxers, the propaganda. Have an intervention with your family member if they don't get vaccinated. Do not have them at your house for Thanksgiving. They made commercials about people who wouldn't take the vaccine because they were crazy. They were conspiratorial. They were bad people. They were scaredy cats. They were just the worst of the worst. But also, they had 3-month studies on these things, and they may have oversold it. And it didn't stop you from getting sick. Well, it did at first. The news said it did. And then, of course, we found out it didn't because it was obvious that everybody that was getting it was getting sick and actually sicker, it would seem. And then they touted that whole thing of, the propaganda tagline is, whoa, I'm sure glad I got vaccinated. Otherwise, it would have been worse. Would it, though? Would it have been worse? We didn't know. Lie after lie after lie after lie. But again, see, some of these players, like Paul Offit, they work for the people who are playing on the monopoly board. They've weaseled their way into the game on the fringes, Don't get me wrong, they're not big players. They're just, tools for the big players. And so they've weaseled their way in there and they're living life just fine and, getting all the science done that they want done and getting rewarded with awards and prizes and all of that thing because they're playing the game. But I think he's starting to walk it back because I think he realizes that there is going to be some fallout from this. There's got to be. What I've come to understand, though, it's like, is it better? Like, there's a two-tiered justice system for sure, right? Like, if you and I get into any trouble, we're going to jail. No questions asked, right? We're definitely going to jail. But like somebody like P. Diddy goes to jail. Is P. Diddy better for us on the monopoly board? Is he better for us in jail? Or what if we negotiate him getting out? Could he be useful to us on the monopoly board? And that's why I say, you guys, this whole thing is just negotiations in a game that we're not playing. We just have to watch it. And, make no mistake, these people are not better than us. They're definitely not better than us. Because it would appear that a lot of them have just manipulated, cheated, lied, and gangstered their way into the game. And so, I hate it when people say, oh, they're so smart. The cult is smart. Well, that was smart. No, it's evil. It's evil. There's a difference. There's evil. And a lot of us, our brains don't even work in the evil way. It's like, oh my gosh, when some of these scams that I see go down, like with the insurance companies, and them buying the pharmacy benefit managers, and then them getting their clawbacks and all the things that they do. I'm like, wow, I would have never thought of that. I see it. I see how they're doing that. But personally, my brain would have never thought of that as an option. Yeah, because I'm not evil. And I think that's why so many people, they don't understand that this stuff happens the way it does, because maybe your brain doesn't work in an evil way, but that doesn't mean other people aren't functioning on the plane of evil. It just, it's frustrating, right? It's frustrating. And then some people are just, led by their egos, which I feel like that's Paul Offit. Just a hunch, just a sense of who that is. It's like, I'm so important. I'm so important. Look at all the advancements I've made in vaccines, and I'm the guy. I'm the one, right? That seems to me, more about ego, I think. I don't know. Hopefully we'll see something, you guys, at some point. But again, it's going to come down to negotiating, because we're living in a time where that is what moves the world. Money, power. That's what's making moves in the world. And I just think that once everybody starts to understand that this is a business, there's negotiations at play here, everything makes a whole lot more sense. Like, nobody seems to be able to wrap their brain around why Trump won't denounce the COVID shot. When Don Jr. knows it's a crappy vax. Like, they all know there's something in the negotiations. There's something in the negotiations, people, that is keeping Trump from acknowledging the harms that these injections have done. And it goes farther than him just wanting to take credit for warp speed. It's farther than that. It's farther than that. There must be some contractual obligation, like an NDA or something else, that is preventing him, perhaps because they rolled the thing out so fast and he wanted to take care of it. He needed the vaccine to roll out so that he could even have a chance at winning the election. That's what I think the deal was. And so perhaps they put the liability on him. Perhaps. This is all speculation, right? But there is a reason why, because he could have easily acknowledged vaccine injury and put that, in his favor. He could have used that as a way to build his popularity, but he couldn't for some reason. And for that reason, I'm thinking is some kind of NDA, some kind of contractual obligation that keeps him from acknowledging vaccine injury. I mean, it's interesting. I found it interesting that, this week, I think it was, or maybe it was last week, where he said he didn't know if he was going to heaven. That was an interesting statement. That was an interesting statement. And I think business is dirty. And I think he definitely knows the art of the deal. And I think negotiations happen and you make the best decisions that you can for the best outcome that you can. But I don't think people truly understand the legal warfare that goes on in this country. Trump made a comment one time and said just that. If we really want to fix things in this country, fix the lawyer lobby. Because legal warfare is the method to shut people up. It is the method to, manipulate. You could bankrupt somebody very easily, right? Through legal warfare. You don't even end up at trial. You just keep filing suit against them, so they have to respond. It's a weaponized system. And I think Paul Offit's concerned about himself right now. Stay tuned, everybody. Naturally Inspired Radio. Be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Collagen makes up 75% of your skin's structure, but stress, sugar, exposure, that speeds up collagen breakdown, and it makes your skin age faster. It makes your tissues age faster. Diane from North Carolina said, I was skeptical at first, but after watching Tammy explain how collagen breaks down, I gave it a shot. My skin feels firmer, my laugh lines softened, and I feel more confident without makeup. Tammy really knows how to connect the science with real results. You can try collagen today, get a free membership at 15% discount and a money-back guarantee by going to naturallyinspiredstore.com/collagen. If you have questions about collagen, I know everything there is to know about it. I have studied this topic at length. So shoot me your questions. It's not just about aesthetics here, you guys. It's about mobility. It's about organ health. It's about nervous system regulation. Like, it impacts so much of your health. So if you have questions about it, just text me 720-303-8868. Get my preferred collagen, the very best collagen I've ever used, the low molecular weight liquid collagen at naturallyinspiredstore.com/collagen. Oh, I'm going to bring up climate cult again. Yeah, I'm hammering this issue home because it appears to me like Canada is going to be the climate cult capital of the world. You certainly have the right leader for it. Mark Carney, with all his relationships to energy, clean energy, it all leads back to the ad campaign, the marketing campaign that was developed around a boardroom by a bunch of globalists called climate change. They decided, we're going to call this climate change. Very subjective term. You can fit a lot. It's a very big umbrella. You can fit a lot of stuff under it. And one of the things they fit under it is clean energy. And clean energy is happens to be the Prime Minister of Canada's, Mark Carney's, his forte. He's invested in it. He touts it all the time. Apparently there are people in Canada that love this guy. We got to go back to that perception thing again, right? My perception is, holy cow, can you not see the writing on the wall here? This guy is invested in it. He's a corporate gangster. He's taken over your country to shape policy so that he can advance his investments for the global cult that he's a part of, right? I mean, the writing's on the wall, but yet other people's perspective is a hard one. This is a hard one, you guys. What could other people's perspective of Mark Carney be? What could it be? Could it, like, think about it. This guy is more of a global citizen, right? Not OG Canadian citizen, but kind of a global citizen. He's been part of the UK. He's been, lived multiple places and whatnot. So it's not like he's got this love for the leaf, So, why? He's already a billionaire. It's not for money, right? Per se, individually, like for his own personal benefit. It's just, just tools around the world on a jet, but it seems to be just like he just got a bleeding heart for the environment, apparently. I mean, it's really hard. I'm trying, you guys. I'm trying to understand, okay? I want to be more understanding. I want to understand that I have a perception and that I have to build a bridge of perspective, right? What is other people's perspective of what's going on in Canada right now? They're flooding in immigration, flooding people in immigration, people of Muslim belief, which is not conducive with the Western world. So they're doing that. That's creating chaos. They are taxing the you-know-what out of Canadians with carbon tax. Their gas bills are $30 for the gas, and then the taxes on that are, another $150, $160. Like, it's insane. My sister told me today, like, her butter right now, and it's not even organic butter, just regular butter is $8 there right now. If you want to buy organic, it's $16.49 for butter. So like now they've got this land grab thing going on over there, which that again ties into the climate cult stuff because it's important to have control of natural resources right now with the artificial intelligence race and the digital revolution. Very, very important to have control over natural resources because we are going to have an energy crisis with the need for the digital revolution. They're going to need water. They need energy like never before. You can barely imagine it, how much energy this is going to consume. I think I told you earlier this week a couple of times, there was an engineer that was attending a conference and they disclosed at the conference, listen, this ChatGPT, one inquiry on ChatGPT requires about 1.5 liters of water. How many people are typing questions into ChatGPT all day long, every day? You know what I'm saying? So like our natural resources are more valuable than ever. And so the land grab in Canada, where there's this whole thing where they're going to use, the government's going to use, it's actually the corporate gangsters at this point. It's not, you can't really call it government because it's not like it's the people's will. So the corporate gangsters that are running the government, they're gonna facilitate basically a land grab over there in Canada, where they're going to claim that the First Nations people have a right to the land, and that the current colonists who paid for the land and have mortgages on the land, no longer own that land. You would think like in America, if that happened, yikes, I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like this is going to get ugly. In Canada, I'm not sure. I mean, I just don't know. I don't have a good enough perspective. I can't tap into, I guess, to a good enough perspective to understand what people will do if the government facilitates a land transfer to the First Nations people of hardworking Canadians that purchased their own houses and have been paying mortgages and taxes on their property, thinking that they were going to own that property. Like, I don't know. I don't know how people are going to respond to that. But make no mistake about it, that's all about the climate change marketing campaign. Totally. Here's the founding member, the co-founding member of Greenpeace, you guys. This is what he has to say about climate change. Remember Greenpeace? Listen to this.
One of my missions is to turn on its head the idea that carbon dioxide is a pollutant and somehow dangerous, when in fact it is the most important nutrient for all life on Earth, and without it this would be a dead planet. So I say not only is carbon dioxide good, it is essential, and it's a good thing that we are putting some more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere because it was running low before we came along.
CO2, we know its benefits for plants, but it is a known greenhouse gas, and we're pumping too much of it in, leading to global warming.
Well, actually, it may be a known greenhouse gas, but it's not known how strong it is in terms of changing the Earth's temperature. And so far in this century, there has been zero warming from a statistically significant basis, and the UK Met Office says so, yet 1/3 of all human CO2 emissions have been put into the atmosphere in the last 18 years. So it doesn't look like a lockstep causal relationship between increasing CO2 and warming of the Earth.
Are you seriously suggesting we should be pumping more stuff in, polluting the Earth more, building more coal-fired power stations just so we can make sure that the CO2 levels are good?
No, I'm not, because we're putting plenty of CO2 into the atmosphere. We don't need to do it this quickly, but if we bring it up to a higher level than it is today, we will get immediately an increase in the growth of crops and trees, which is not a bad thing. In the long run, though, it doesn't matter if we bring it down quite a bit. And so that's why I'm supportive of nuclear energy and of natural gas. This tendency to go in the rich countries to wind and solar is a giant waste of money.
It's a giant waste of money. And that's what Mark Carney's heavily invested in. He's heavily invested in wind and solar and all the solutions for your climate change, for your climate. You guys, they're screwing with everybody's perception just because they say it's so. I mean, again, like, we're looking at corporate gangsters here. These are salespeople. They are selling you nothing but lies. Imagine people like Bill Gates say we need to cut down the trees. We need to get rid of the trees. We need less trees. In what reality? Now I'm pushing. Come on back over to reality. In what reality are more trees bad? You know, more trees are just like, hear me out here. You know, it's the people, their entire consciousness has been captured by a fake narrative. And they're tuning into it through the portal, the phone, every day. And it's just reaffirming it. Earlier this week, I played you a few clips from a couple of scientists that were recently on the Rogan podcast. Now, I know people who are caught up in their own perception. They hear the word Rogan and they think, oh, well, that's just Rogan. That's that right-wing extremist. Because again, the portal, the algorithm has convinced you that that's what that platform is. But it's very rational. I don't like every show on there, but there's some very common sense stuff coming from two trained professionals on the climate, on the earth. They're creating that perception. How are we going to build this bridge? Trees are good. Hug a tree today. It'll save your life. It'll change your frequency. Do it. We'll be right back, you guys, with your health topic, which is about your hearing today. So stay tuned.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, We want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Welcome back. I want to invite you to join us in the Naturally Inspired community. People are getting results. People are losing weight. They are tapering back medication or getting off medication with the advice of their doctor. They're taking control of their health. They're walking into their doctor's office and they're saying, I want to get off this medication. Will you help me? They are learning how to connect to their bodies. They are learning about insulin resistance. They are learning about what high blood pressure really means. They are learning so many different things that is changing their perception on health. For the better, because they're getting results. They're making changes, they're getting results. You cannot argue with that. And that's what happens in the Naturally Inspired community. So come on over and join us. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. Get yourself some collagen, get yourself some reset, become a customer, and then you will unlock all the benefits of the Naturally Inspired community, which is 24/7 access to my health text line. You get Tuesday night weekly wellness workshops. Every week we could talk about something new. This week we talked about insulin resistance. Next week, we're going to be diving into some recipes and what meal planning should look like for you for a healthy metabolism. But we cover all kinds of topics on Tuesday night. You get 15% off of retail pricing from our partnered product line. You get money back guarantee on all of our products. So many benefits to being a part of the Naturally Inspired community. So join us today. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. All right, let's get into our health topic for today, because I want to talk about hearing. This is something, that I think we associate right away with getting older, right? People just like, oh, what? So why does hearing decline? Hearing loss is not just about getting older. So from a functional medicine point of view, it's often because of a few things. One is oxidative stress, damaging the delicate hair cells in the inner ear. Mitochondrial dysfunction leads to less energy for sensory nerve repair. Vascular changes. This is one that people don't correlate. Vascular changes reduce blood flow to the ear, and that can cause hearing issues as well. Chronic inflammation, especially from metabolic syndrome or insulin resistance. So if you have that swishing in your ears, I think it's even worth a try to alter your diet if you're experiencing tinnitus, right? The ringing in the ears. Could that be a vascular change that's causing the ringing? It is worth a shot. It is worth a shot to switch to a diet that's high in protein, high in fat, loaded with whole foods, and no carbohydrates. Treat the insulin resistance and see what happens. That's my take on it. So vascular changes, reducing blood flow, chronic inflammation, toxin accumulation. So particularly from heavy metals or certain medications can cause hearing disturbances. So the goal is you want to rebuild and circulate nutrition to the body, feed the body, fill the deficiency, and give the ear cells what they need to thrive. So hidden connections that you might not know: blood sugar and hearing. elevated insulin or poor glucose control damages small capillaries in the inner ear. It's the same way it affects eyes or kidneys. So hearing loss can be an early warning sign of metabolic dysfunction, not just hearing loss. I would say hearing changes. Hearing changes, okay, can have an impact on your, or can be related back to metabolic dysfunction rather. So any changes, thyroid and ear function. So low thyroid slows circulation and fluid balance in the ear, and that can contribute to things like vertigo and ringing in the ear. So supporting thyroid health, right? Get your metabolic health in order. Get rid of processed foods, right? And of course, you want to supplement and support your body in any mineral deficiencies and any nutritional deficiencies. Also, adrenal stress can contribute to hearing issues. So chronic stress actually tightens the muscles of the neck and jaw, and it compresses circulation to the auditory canal. So things like magnesium, adaptogens like ashwagandha and others, and grounding practices, getting your feet in the dirt, hugging a tree. Truly, it's not a joke. Hugging a tree, it can restore your nervous system and help with adrenal stress. Also, EMF and inner ear inflammation is also a thing. So early studies show that EMF exposure may alter calcium signaling in the hair cells, maintaining high antioxidant status, like getting lots of polyphenols, offer cellular protection. So think about there's going to be a lot of more, those pods that we were sold, the ear pods. There's going to be a lot of information coming about that in the coming, couple years with MAHA and whatnot, because we know there are consequences to those things. We know there are. But again, they've just been approved and safe and effective. Change to corded headphones. I have corded headphones. Another one is heavy metals. So things like mercury, lead, and cadmium can accumulate in the auditory nerve, and functional detox support through vitamin supplementation, supporting your glutathione levels, clean water, making sure you're filtering your water. Also, even using binders. So things like carbon, right? Carbon's a great binder. Bentonite clay is a great binder. Text me if you need more information on binders. But binders are basically the carbon 60, right? Greska's carbon 60 is a great binder. It's like a magnet type of molecule, goes in and searches for toxins and draws them out of the body. So heavy metal toxicity can lead to hearing changes. Some also things that, a lot of the medical model won't acknowledge, but the research is here. If you go to the NIH website, you can find this research. Mitochondrial DNA damage in the inner ear is now recognized as a major driver of hearing loss. I wonder what would be damaging mitochondrial DNA damage. What would be causing that? Also, nitric oxide balance. So too low nitric oxide or too high nitric oxide, it can affect microcirculation in the ear. And so you got to support a healthy nitric oxide production. So you want to do that just, with supplementation. Also, there's an inner ear microbiome. And this research is new, revealing that even the ear has its own bacterial ecosystem. So chronic sinus or gut dysbiosis can influence ear inflammation. Isn't that fascinating? So your gut health, we know that is a gut microbiome that can impact hearing, but also the inner ear itself has a microbiome. It's just, the intricacy of the biology of the human body is just so fascinating. I don't know how everybody, I'm just fascinated by it. I don't know how you're not fascinated by it. It's so amazing. And then check this one out. Emotional trauma there's a refusal to listen pattern in traditional Chinese medicine, and it often comes in ear disorders. You can actually link these hearing disorders in children that have experienced emotional trauma. Isn't that fascinating? You know, the body always keeps score. It always keeps score. And emotional trauma is a variable that we need to consider when we're trying to curate optimum health. This model, this mainstream model, they don't even mess with trauma in terms of its physical impact on the body. But yet we know this emotional trauma. It often manifests as ear disorders in children. So that links emotional healing with auditory recovery, right? So we have patterns that show when children are treated for their trauma, they are given tools to integrate the trauma that they've experienced, that their healing occurs, that their auditory system is healed. It's just fascinating, So here are some things that you can do. Make sure if you're having hearing problems, if it were me, of course, I don't give medical advice, but if it were me and I was having hearing problems, the first thing I would do would be, well, first, I mean, make sure your ears aren't plugged. I think, if you got some wax buildup, make sure your ears aren't plugged. That would be probably the first thing I would do. But also, one of the first things I would be doing is looking at blood sugar stability and making sure that I'm eating protein-rich, low glycemic meals, lots of healthy fats, whole foods. I would definitely supplement with magnesium. I would do, of course, I love our methylated multivitamin, making sure you're getting everything across the board that you need. Omega-3s would be another one I would add in there. And then I would do some cellular reset as well. Just to kind of take care of those free radicals, right? Also, support yourself when you're out in loud spaces if you're having issues with your ears, especially like chronic, exposure. Of course, we know that can have a structural impact on hearing. So support yourself if you're exposed to chronic noise. And then also you want to support detox with lots of hydration, maybe even some liver detox, and then practice stillness, right? Stress tightens the muscles around your auditory system. There's a lot of, I want to say, stress impacts everything, and we don't give it the weight that we should. We are conditioned again to think that showing or admitting signs of stress, like, oh, I'm really stressed out or whatever, equals weakness in our country. We're supposed to just suck it up and keep going, right? But in reality, acknowledging that your stress level is getting too high is a sign of strength. And then implementing practices that help you process stress in a healthy way. I mean, that is true strength, right? Responding in a way where you're supporting yourself. How that ever got turned into weakness, I don't know. It's just bizarre to me. But, putting something in place to help yourself is a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness. So take time out to practice stillness, because the stress in your neck, the stress that you're holding, that very well could be affecting your auditory system. Reframe hearing loss as a communication from your body. Every signal we get from the body is communication. It isn't a symptom, it's a signal, and it's communication. Something's going on here. So we have to listen. And sometimes we don't get it right the first time, but we got to keep trying, because there's a reason for the body's signaling, and we should seek to understand it, not cover it up. You've been listening to Naturally Inspired Radio this week. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. We'll be back Monday at 3 o'clock. As always, look forward to seeing you. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303